Yo guys, Jack here today bringing you some exclusive Xbox One Dead Rising 3 gameplay. So I was in London yesterday for a little Xbox One event. I was invited there by Microsoft and they had a nice little setup at a place called One Marylebone. There were several games there: Rise, Connect Sports, Killer Instinct, COD Ghosts, Dead Rising 3 and a few other titles as well. Luckily, they let me record whilst I was playing Dead Rising 3. My history with the Dead Rising games: I played the original on Xbox 360. It was actually one of the first Xbox 360 games that I played, and I enjoyed it, played it all the way through. Didn't play Dead Rising 2 at all, but Dead Rising 3 being a next-gen title sort of piqued my interest a little bit and I wanted to check it out. So I sat down with a guy called Josh Bridge, who's the executive producer on the game. He works over at Capcom Vancouver. Really cool guy, nice and chilled out, and you could tell that he really loves the game that he's creating here. So as I played, he sort of gave me like a rolling tutorial, talked about the game, what was going on, and showed me all the different features that I could do. If you don't know about the Dead Rising series, the basic premise is that you're in a zombie apocalypse. There's loads of zombies. It's sort of like a sandbox game with side quests and a main single player storyline. There's also a points-based element to it as well, you know, try and kill the most zombies in a certain time limit or in a certain way. You get combos and compete against your friends. So the basic premise of this chapter is Nick, the main guy that you play as, gets bitten by a zombie that comes crawling out of a car, and you get thrown out into the world and you've got 30 minutes to find some Zombrex, which is sort of like a cure to a zombie bite. So they just throw you into the game and you're allowed to play. You can go to the main mission, you can just mess around if you want to. So a big part of the game is combining and creating weapons and all sorts of gooky, wacky vehicles. Now when I spawned in, it just so happened that there was a steamroller and a motorbike next to me. Bam, you can combine those, and then I ended up with a flamethrower crushing death machine, I'd like to call it, because why not? So as you can see, I can steamroll these zombies. I can also burn them alive if I'd like to. Brilliant. Unfortunately, I got a bit carried away and ended up driving this off a hole in the road and flipping it. I don't think insurance is going to cover that one, but unfortunately you can't flip the vehicle, so I couldn't get that one back. So as you can see, I'm killing the zombies here just with a few punches, strong attacks and weak attacks, and as I kill them I get points. Enjoy your cone on your head. I'm not sure he liked that too much, but there we go. And this really is a big part of the game, just messing around and seeing how many points you can tot up. Moving on, anytime that you see a vehicle with flashing hazard lights, that means that that vehicle is drivable. So I hop in this van and start moving towards the objective, which is the little yellow arrow there, smashing zombies along the way. As you can see, some of them actually climb onto the car and try and pull you out of it, and if that happens, you have to shake the controller to get them off. So it's just like syncing with the connect, and you can shake it, whatever, get the zombies off. If you like, you can also sort of like scrape them off using walls or other big objects that you sort of collide with. And just take a second here to witness the amount of zombies on the screen right now. It's absolutely crazy. You know, when you get put into the game and you see all these zombies, just this massive horde of meat, of dead people just shambling around, you're sort of taken back a bit. And every road, every section of the game is just absolutely filled with the undead. Found myself a big digger here, which luckily I can, of course, control. Getting into the digger, you get like a tail whip with the back thing. I'm not into construction, so I don't really know what these are called. Let's go with JCB. But yeah, you can tail whip with the back thing, and with the front loader, whatever it is, you can move that up and down and just go to town on some zombies. So after some more smashing and banging, otherwise known as smanging, which is a common phrase used nowadays, I can climb up to this safe house. And in the safe house is where I can start customizing my character, building weapons, and accessing all that good stuff. So first off, I went over to the wardrobe to change the look of my character. There is a crap load of options here for your character. You can make him look however you like. There is some stuff in here that I can't show you, so I'm not going to be able to flick through all the customizations because there's some secrets and surprises that they want to save for the main game in the customization. But naturally, I decided to go with the Shark Knight. That's Batman's underwater cousin who fights off bad fish when they're up to no good. Yeah, so this is the Shark Knight. Went with the shark head because why not? Plate armor for the chest so I can protect myself against the zombies. Hot pants because you got to look good when you fight in the zombie apocalypse, right? I mean, I don't just want some jeans, screw that. And of course, I've got the red stripper boots. Now, I don't know about you, but if I saw this guy running towards me on the street, whether I was a zombie or a survivor, I would definitely turn around and run the other way. This guy looks really scary right now, and you'd definitely be afraid of him. So running over to the weapons locker, you can start looking at weapons, combo weapons, super weapons, all this crazy stuff that you can put together. Luckily for me, in this build of the game, they'd actually unlocked everything. So I've got access to all the super crazy weapons that were there, so naturally I went with the most extravagant that I could see. I picked up the RC helicopter, which is equipped with swords for blades or rotors, whatever you want to call it, the boom cannon, which does what it says on the tin, the flaming sword of course, and the ultimate shout, which you're going to see used very shortly. You can see there's lots of cones strapped together with a megaphone on the back, and I'll show you what that does in a sec. So going out onto the balcony, I could test a few of these weapons out. Here you can see I'm using the RC helicopter, which is kind of cute. You can sort of like fly it around and chop some zombies up. So I flew it down to the street and just started going to town on some zombies. You can see it's racking up some points there. Eventually it ends up going out of range. You know, it doesn't have like infinite range. So if I wanted to use that again, I'd have to get closer to it. Next up is the boom cannon. You see, pretty standard grenade launcher there. Just launches some explosive projectiles, turns zombies into giblets. Now you're going to see the ultimate shout. So this is literally, as I said, just some traffic cones strapped to a megaphone, and you just shout at the zombies. And this guy must be packing some serious vocal cords, because he can blow zombies out of the water. Okay, they're just blown into pieces. He can even knock cars over with this thing. The ultimate shout is an absolute beast. Finally, the flaming sword, which I think is probably one of the coolest weapons in the game, just because of the look and the animation as he's swinging it around. It looks big and heavy. That's what she said. I had to throw "that's what she said" joke in there, sorry guys. And you can just smash these zombies up over and over, and it's extremely satisfying. Some cool flame and lighting effects on the sword there as well. Now I'm just looking at the combinations that you can get in the game. So I found a blueprint, and it turns out that I can make an electric charged hammer thingy, and luckily for us, there's a hammer and a battery on the floor. So if we pick those both up, and then I think it was like hold RB or hold LB, you get access to the combination menu, and you can combine those, and there we go. I've made the electric chargio hammer thingy, and you know, you can smash this on the ground, electrify like groups of zombies, or you can actually smash it on top of a zombie's head and just pulverize their entire head and torso and upper body, which you're going to see very shortly. So as I'm moving through the level, I find this girl called Christine, who's sort of like stuck in a cemetery on top of a tomb thingy, whatever the hell that is. And this is like a side mission. Now I can choose to rescue her if I want to, and I think these are timed, so she's not always going to be standing out there. Obviously if I leave her for like 8 hours, she's probably going to die or try and run away or something. So I can actually help her out if I wanted to and activate like a side quest, but Josh told me that the side quests deviate quite a lot from the main quest. Obviously you'll end up going quite far away to try and help rescue this person, so it is a bit of a chore to help these people out. But if you do help them out, then you know, you get rewards like XP, they give you items, and they're just generally friendly with you. So that's always a choice. You can help her out if you want to, but I was feeling mean and decided to leave her there and just smash some zombies instead. At the end of the day, I've got a zombie bite, right, and I've got like 15 minutes to go and get a cure, so I'll leave her there for now and come and help her out later. So further on, we meet this guy called Gary, who says that he needs to get a body out of this morgue/hospital thingy, and if you help him, he knows where some Zombrex is in there, so obviously that's going to help because I've been bitten right now. And at this point, you've got to break in through the skylight, which is on the roof. Now, Josh told me that they wanted to sort of like demonstrate the verticality in the game a lot more with this one, so there isn't really like a ladder up there or another way to get up, and they want to give the players a bit more creativity with accessing areas of the game. So on this occasion, I decided to get in the blue van, which was over there, drive that next to the building, climb up, and that way I could break in through the skylight. Here we're fighting through the building some more and smashing some zombies with paintings, very artistic. Now eventually you make your way through to the cold storage, which is at the basement of the building, I think, where the body is. And I was very impressed with the cutscenes in the game. Josh actually told me that the actors were all mocapped and they recorded the audio at the same time as they were acting out these scenes. So you get some great chemistry between the actors in the cutscenes. It's all live and it's very natural. You know, a lot of games do the audio and the mocap separately, or they use completely different people to do the mocap and then the audio. So it seems a bit unnatural sometimes, but I think because they've done it all together, and sometimes they literally had like 6 people in the same room together acting this stuff out, it comes across quite well. He also pointed out where you saw Gary trip there, you know, that wasn't scripted, but because it was all live, you know, they keep little things in like that, and it just makes it seem a bit more realistic, even though it's a video game and I'm wearing a shark head and hot pants with stripper boots. It's quite funny really, you know, you've got all this serious stuff going on with the main characters and the main storyline, but at the same time you can completely goof yourself up and make all these goofy weapons. It's quite a nice contract really, and the fact that the characters in the cutscenes never really address it. Like Gary doesn't say to me, why the fuck are you wearing a shark head and hot pants? You know, it just completely never even mention it, which makes it quite hilarious really. Yeah, and that's about it for today. I thoroughly enjoyed my time with Dead Rising 3. I think it's definitely going to be one of the strongest launch titles for Xbox One, alongside Battlefield 4. Of course, I've pre-ordered an Xbox One with Dead Rising 3 and BF4. BF4, obviously, they get the second Assault DLC earlier on Xbox One than PC and PlayStation, all the other consoles, so I want to be covering those new maps, so I do have BF4 pre-ordered on Xbox One as well. But yeah, Dead Rising 3, cool game. Big thanks to Josh, who sat down and sort of explained everything for me. He was really great at walking me through the game. That's all for today folks, hope you enjoyed this one. Leave a rating and a comment as always. I'll see you in the next one.